Hey, it's Dr. Rucker with Reverse Medical. We're going to talk about a topic today that's related to regaining your youthful energy reserves with Reverse. It's a question I frequently get from different patients, and it's regarding the use of estrogen blockers. So I'm going to go right to some journal articles that I have already redlined. One of my patients asked me, should he start estrogen blocker? And let me just do a quick review. What happens is a patient, we deem them to have low testosterone through laboratory analysis and a combination of a questionnaire or understanding symptoms. Once they start testosterone replacement, I'm going to just flat out say there's a myth that's being propagated because of many companies wanting to be profit motivated that everyone needs to start estrogen blocker. I'm going to basically review 3 different articles with you and generally prove to you that there is no right answer. Not everyone needs to start it, and it should be looked at on a case-to-case basis. And either patients that are already known to be sensitive to this, or they have a tendency towards obesity or gynecomastia already, those are good candidates. But otherwise, there's no reason to go use this across the board. And the best way to check things out is on the first laboratory evaluation, which we tend to check blood work 3 to 6 months out after initiating testosterone therapy. At that time, we combine the laboratory evaluation with any symptoms and decide if the patient needs estrogen blocker. So that's the short answer. But here's the long answer. So here's a journal article published in Sexual Medicine. John Mulhall, I see he's one of the authors. I trained at Cornell in New York City, and he was one of our professors. I'm not sure what time he wrote this article. But anyway, methods. So in this one, they had testosterone therapy. All men over 60, regardless of symptoms, so they're basing this on blood work between 2005 and 2019, 1,708 men. As you can see, only 3% had arimidex, also known as anastrazole, AZ. So that's very low amounts that they found. What did they find? That, hey, anastrazole remains a reasonable option for estrogen reduction in men with elevated levels. That's not very strong language, so it shows you how vague this is. Here's all the ones I underlined. Obesity is a common risk factor for, that's actually sleep apnea. Obese men on testosterone therapy may warrant closer observation. That's really as strong as they're getting. That's not a very strong statement, so that further supports my viewpoint that it's case-to-case basis, no global, everyone should do blank. Second article, a doctor had written this. I found it. I liked it as a template for discussion. That's why I picked it. A little more information. Testosterone is converted into estradiol due to aromatase. Because this can happen, the people who are at the highest risk of this conversion are genetically predisposed men. They may experience symptoms of high levels such as gynecomastia, breast swelling, or edema. But remember, high levels, it says low levels may be the cause of bone loss in elderly men, so you don't want to just drop everyone to zero. Low estradiol levels can be associated with increased fat, decreased libido, and erectile dysfunction. So if you drop them to zero, that's not good either. So having said that, I'd rather do this on a case-to-case basis. Here are the symptoms: breast swelling, fluid retention. Even the Endocrine Society does not recommend any type of treatments, not that they're any authority. That's article 2, and the final article, I redlined some areas. Another one from a random blog had a little bit better info to provide. That's why I picked it. I should have started at the top. Okay, here's the red line on this article. Key takeaways. All right, good thing to know. The most common androgen inhibitor, aromatase inhibitor, is arimidex, or known as anastrazole. I generally like people to take it 1 milligram once a week when you do take it. So you see, testosterone gets converted to estradiol by this aromatase enzyme in fat cells. So that's how the conversion occurs. You can see this bond changes. And that's it. So a little bit of biochemistry for you. That's what the aromatase does. And I redlined some areas that are relevant. I told you what an anastrazole is. I wouldn't worry about these others that do exist. I told you how this works. It blocks the conversion of testosterone to estrogen by aromatase. And this guy's article, he concludes the same thing. It talks about natural ways to reduce it. I'm not very impressed, but it has been shown that some men on testosterone will see a slight rise in estrogen. Research is still ongoing as to whether this rise in estrogen has any significant impact. According to the American Urologic Association, they recommend men with low T and gynecomastia to be checked for estrogen, but specifically if you have it up front. So it's important to remember each individual is different. So let me tell you, there is no cross-the-board logic. I really think everyone should wait, see how they do. But once again, if people request it, we will let the patients order. It costs a little more money monthly, but that's the summary, and I hope this video helps everyone understand this somewhat complicated topic, but in some ways it's not that complex. Thank you. Dr. Rucker here again with Reverse.